That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle's fashion feud has now been revealed.
This woman is a thief. She's not even a royal thief. She's a Hollywood thief.
She's terrible. I mean, I expect she was giving him the eye.
Meghan Markle caught on camera wearing $1,695 designer dress she was once accused of stealing after photo shoot.
Staffers on the shoot believed the former starlet allegedly walked off with several items that day without permission, including the dress she is now proudly wearing 3 years later.
Meghan Markle is doing her worst Hollywood grift, which is stealing clothes. This is stealing clothes. It goes to show that even Hollywood is done with this woman.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
What do Americans really think of Harry and Meghan? We despise them.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled she became a, quote, princess.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
So first we've had all of these dramatic goings on with the Kardashians, news that she's trying to woo.
Why is Meghan Markle stealing things that she can afford?
So she found out on TV, but, you know, they want to be financially independent.
Prince Harry left the throne! And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
I haven't heard that term in a long time. She's a harlot.
So on the left is the dress where she wore for the variety shoot. Remember, this is the same shoot where she was like, I know, I need to get more specific because she's always doing
I mean, this woman has no shame. She really has no shame.
He reported that Meghan, at the end of that shoot, the crew that was there was sort of surprised because she had some high-heeled shoes on that no longer seemed to be...
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
Joe Rogan didn't whisper. He didn't soften it. He just said what millions of people were already thinking, but out loud. The moment the stolen dress scandal started spreading online, Joe went in hard. And honestly, you could feel it.
Crazy.
So I think, as you know, in building brands, it doesn't happen overnight. It can't happen overnight. And I knew that I wanted to put something in the world. And for years, I mean, we've been out here for 5 years now, really trying to decipher what do I want to share?
This is such a crazy thing to say.
It was amazing. How do you feel about it? Well,
Joe Rogan didn't hold back. He didn't whisper, he didn't sugarcoat it, he just said what everyone had been thinking out loud. The moment the stolen dress scandal started spreading like wildfire online, Joe came charging in, no filter, no hesitation. And oh, you could feel it. It wasn't just another internet rumor or another royal drama. This time, it was personal, emotional, and downright explosive. The man spoke with the kind of bluntness that slices through all the fake politeness Hollywood loves to hide behind. He looked straight into the storm that was Meghan Markle's latest scandal and tore it apart piece by piece. People had been buzzing for days, whispering in comments and gossip forums, wondering if the story was even true. But when Joe Rogan joined the conversation, the whisper turned into thunder. Suddenly, the whole internet stopped scrolling and started watching. Because this wasn't just about a dress, it was about her. About Meghan Markle, the woman who has somehow turned everything she touches into a headline. The same woman who can make a cup of coffee or a side glance look like a breaking news event. The stolen dress rumor was just another spark, but this time it set off a full-on firestorm, and honestly, everyone could see it coming. This wasn't about fabric, it was about everything people have felt about Meghan for years. The mystery, the inconsistencies, the drama that follows her wherever she goes. Nothing with her ever feels simple or straight. Every move, every photo, every public appearance feels like a scene from a show that's been rehearsed one too many times. And this time, it wasn't politics or royal family issues, it was something much smaller, yet somehow way bigger. People started pointing at a simple green dress and asking the question that wouldn't go away. Why is she wearing something she was never supposed to keep?
You don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
And that's when Joe Rogan jumped in and boom, the internet exploded. Let's go back to how it all started. A few years ago, Meghan did a high-end magazine photo shoot, glossy, luxurious, everything perfectly curated. Like all celebrity shoots, the clothes were loaned by designers. It's a simple rule. Everyone in Hollywood knows you wear it, you pose, they tag the brand, and when the cameras stop flashing, everything goes back to the studio or designer. No exceptions. If it's not gifted, you return it. That's how it's always been. But months later, rumors started whispering through fashion circles something strange had happened. A few items from that very shoot were reportedly missing. Among them, a stunning green designer dress. It wasn't a crime, but it was odd.
Fashion journalist told Andrew Gold.
Tom Bauer reported that at a Reitman's shoot, Meghan was doing the shoot and everything was fine. At the photo shoots, the celebrities or the important person is never supposed to take the clothes that they're actually wearing in the shoot.
And that little detail sat quietly in the corner of the internet until now. Because suddenly, that same green dress reappeared on Meghan again. And this time, people noticed. The internet connected the dots in seconds. Screenshots, side-by-sides, posts, it was chaos. Whether the rumor was true or exaggerated didn't matter anymore. The damage was done. The story wasn't about a piece of fabric, it was about what the fabric represented. It was about patterns, about how everything around Meghan always seems to come with confusion, missing details, and whispers of, was that supposed to happen? The first time she wore that dress, no one cared. The second time?
For Rachel, Meghan Markle. For Meghan Markle is love steals all. Because she's stealing everything. This woman, and you know what's so funny? Because I remember one time one of my friends said to me, when you're poor and you steal, you're a thief. But when you're rich and you steal, you're a klepto.
The internet erupted. It had been years since the photo shoot. Back then, the missing item story had barely caused a ripple. It was just another rumor among many that circled around her. But when she wore it again this time, under all the public eyes and scrutiny, it was like throwing gasoline on an old flame. People didn't need tabloids to tell them anything. They saw the pictures, remembered the story, and instantly revived it. And that's when it blew up beyond control. Because the timing couldn't have been worse. Meghan's public image had already been wobbling every move she made, every event she attended. People were analyzing it with suspicion. So when that green dress reappeared, it wasn't just fashion. It became a symbol of all the blurred lines, the mixed signals, and the carefully curated yet somehow crumbling image she'd built over time.
A la Meghan. I don't know why I called her that. With Madame. Madame forgets to pay for stuff. Okay. So, Meghan's team did not respond to the story, just so you know. I have to put that in there. They're not responding, of course. What are they going to...
And that's when Joe Rogan decided to speak. Oh, and he didn't hold back, not for a second. When Joe Rogan reacts to something, he doesn't wrap it in Hollywood politeness or sprinkle it with sugar. He says it straight the way people talk at their kitchen tables. Raw, unfiltered, brutally honest, and when the stolen dress story came up, Joe didn't waste time on diplomacy. He called it what it was, a credibility issue. He wasn't mocking Meghan's fashion, he was mocking the behavior behind it. Joe pointed out what millions were already whispering: how can someone with so much money, influence, and access end up caught in something so small and yet so telling? He called out the pattern that every time Meghan tries to present herself as perfect, something slips through the cracks and reveals the opposite. Every time she smiles for the cameras, a new story comes out that makes people question what's really going on. And that's why Joe's take hit differently. It wasn't mean, it was real.
And then we come to this specific outfit, which has featured in her new Netflix promotion. It's a $1,695 designer dress, according to Radar Online, that she wore in the promotional material for her Netflix holiday special.
It came from frustration, from watching a person constantly chase perfection but stumble over honesty. Joe wasn't talking like a celebrity. He was talking like one of us, someone who's tired of the drama, the contradictions, the endless PR spins. That's why people listened, because Joe's words sounded true. He even said it, this whole thing wasn't about a green dress. It was about trust. Over the years, Meghan has built an image, polished, glowing, wrapped in luxury. But underneath that glow, people started noticing the cracks. The small inconsistencies, the quiet stories, the rumors that never seemed to fade away. And here's where the internet took Joe's side completely. Because people remembered the designer scandals, the rumors from Toronto, the borrowed items that mysteriously went missing. It all started to sound like a pattern. Joe didn't accuse, he observed. Why? He asked. Would someone who can afford everything in the world end up in a headline about something so trivial? And that question echoed everywhere. It wasn't about the dress. It was about what it meant. The idea that maybe, just maybe, the rules don't apply to her. That image matters more than integrity. That she lives in a different reality, one where appearances come first and the rest is just damage control. Joe's commentary spread fast. People clipped it, shared it, posted it everywhere. And the funny thing, even those who didn't care about the royals suddenly had an opinion. Because the story felt familiar. It felt human. Because who hasn't seen someone pretend to be perfect while quietly breaking all the rules? Joe's voice cut through the noise. "It's not about the dress," he said. "It's about how small things reveal the truth." And that line hit people right in the gut, because it was true. The dress became a symbol not of fashion or luxury, but of character. It made people question not what Meghan was wearing, but who she really was. And this was exactly what Joe Rogan meant when he said, "It's always the little things that show you who someone really is." Because no matter how glamorous the speeches, no matter how polished the interviews, it's these tiny cracks that people remember. The green dress wasn't just green anymore, it was symbolic. It screamed of everything people had been whispering for years. And the more Meghan tried to ignore it, the louder the whispers grew. People started posting old photos, digging up articles, comparing outfits. Suddenly, her entire image was under a microscope again. That's the thing about the internet, it doesn't forget. You can delete, deny, distract, but screenshots last forever. And when the queen of curated perfection steps out in something tied to a rumor about stolen clothes, oh, people notice. Joe didn't just talk about the dress, he talked about patterns. He brought up how the same kind of controversy seems to follow her around wherever she goes, how every story, no matter how small, ends up turning into a drama. He laughed, but it wasn't cruel. It was that kind of laugh that comes from disbelief, like, how does this keep happening? Then he said it plain. It's not about fabric or fashion, it's about credibility. You can't preach class and authenticity while getting caught in stories like this. And honestly, people agreed. Because deep down, everyone loves calling out hypocrisy. Especially when it comes wrapped in royal silk and Hollywood shine. Joe mentioned how Meghan's life seems like one giant PR movie, perfect lighting, perfect poses, perfect everything. But the problem, he said, was that it all feels too perfect. So perfect, it starts to feel fake. Because perfection is exhausting. Real people make mistakes, they stumble, they admit it, they laugh it off. Meghan, on the other hand, never does. Every move looks calculated. Every reaction feels scripted. And that's why a rumor about a dress could suddenly become a global scandal. It fed into what people already felt, that something about her just doesn't add up. The irony? Joe said, this whole chaos could have been avoided by one simple thing, asking. If the dress wasn't returned by accident, she could have just asked the designer for it. They would have happily gifted it. But she didn't. And that decision, or maybe that oversight, sparked a wildfire. People began comparing her to celebrities who genuinely own their flaws, those who laugh at themselves, who show the messy parts. And then there's Meghan, always pristine, always careful, always just out of reach. Joe called it the authenticity gap, the space between who she is and who she pretends to be. And he said that gap is only getting wider. He mentioned how over the years Meghan's tried to position herself as misunderstood, mistreated, misrepresented. But at some point, people stop buying it. Because it's not bad luck when every story around you ends the same way with controversy. Joe even joked, if this was anyone else, people would have shrugged it off in a day. But because it's Meghan, it's like the universe said, here we go again. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. He reminded everyone that she's been through bigger scandals, royal exits, explosive interviews, feuds, accusations. Yet somehow, this tiny, almost silly issue about a dress hit harder. Because it was simple. Everyone could understand it. It didn't need explaining. It didn't need spin. It was black and white. You borrow something, you return it. You don't, people notice. And when Joe said, that's why this one hurts her image the most, it made sense. Because this wasn't about tabloids or palace politics, it was about something every normal person can relate to. And that's exactly why it spread like wildfire. He went on saying Meghan doesn't seem to care anymore. It's like she's saying, yeah, I wore it. So what? That, Joe said, is what makes it worse. The attitude, the casualness, the refusal to read the room. Because when you've built your entire empire on public image, you can't afford to look careless. And yet, there she was, walking around in that very same dress that started all of this. Joe shook his head, saying, it's almost like she wanted the attention. Because deep down, he added, some people can't live without the spotlight even if it burns them. And you know what? He wasn't the only one who thought so. The internet agreed. Comment sections, TikTok clips, Reddit threads, they were all filled with the same sentiment. She just doesn't get it. And Joe's final punchline? It wasn't loud, it was quiet. Chilling. When trust is gone, even the truth sounds like a lie. That's what stuck with people. Because at this point, Meghan doesn't have to do much to cause outrage. The public doesn't wait for proof anymore, they already expect something off. And that's the saddest part. Because this dress didn't ruin her reputation, it just revealed what was left of it. Joe closed his segment by saying, this isn't about royalty or celebrity, it's about how you treat small things when you think no one's watching. And that line summed it all up perfectly. A single green dress. a small rumor, and a massive fallout. Because in a world where image is everything, one careless move can destroy years of carefully built illusion. And Joe Rogan, of all people, was the one who said what everyone else was too scared to say. That's why this story hit differently. Because deep down, people weren't mad about a dress, they were mad about the arrogance behind it. The kind that says rules are for everyone else. And that's why this stolen dress scandal won't fade like the others. Because once trust breaks, even a beautiful gown can't hide the truth.